Hey guys, have you ever wondered why is it so hard to get a job? Because lately you've been getting a lot of people, posting on YouTube, posting on TikTok, Instagram, discussing, oh, jobs suck, or I can't get a job. This is the worst, job market in the world. And even you go on Reddit, you're going to see, similar titles. Now, if you're watching this video, I think it's very important to, at least give you the advice on how to, I wouldn't necessarily say get a job, but to explain why it's so hard to get a job and what you can at least glean from this information so that you can have success in the future for your own job search or at least starting your own business because of how crappy the job market is. So let's begin. The first reason is trust. Believe it or not, the social contract on how employees and employers should engage one another has been broken sometime, at least in the United States of America. It used to be in the United States of America, you could just come on in, graduate from high school, or let's say not even graduate from high school, get a job, raise a family on that single income, and not get into debt or be poor for the rest of your life. Most people have success. And if you didn't have success, the reason was because of you. Okay. Unless you were some sort of minority. Now, during that time, you had on the job training. And during that on the job training, you was getting paid while doing so. And while you were getting paid doing so, you would eventually, get the job and you get paid more. And if the business needed some more help internally, they'll just send you to school and you'll just come back, get paid more, and institute the policies necessary so that you can help the business grow and you grow. It was mutualism. Okay. That does not happen today. In fact, businesses realize that, hey, we don't have to send people to school. We could just let people get themselves into debt. We don't have to do much to do anything. And we could get all of that, free education and knowledge without paying not one dime. All right. That was the trade-off. And now businesses where you used to have a high schooler do the job, they're now asking college degree people with bachelor's or master's to do that same job, even though a high schooler could do that job. Okay. So trust is one of those reasons. Two, why is it hard to get a job? Wage. I'm sure you've seen it yourself. You try to apply for other jobs and really the wages suck. Okay. And they suck for a reason. They suck because the companies want to extract as much labor, as much value as they can from you, similar to how many employees may want to extract as much value from a business, etc. Okay. And because that is the case, you have this constant struggle where businesses are competing with other businesses on how low they can pay you. Okay. That's what they're trying to do. Third thing, and this is actually talked about quite a lot, but the reason why it's hard to get a job, believe it or not, is because of fake jobs. You would apply for a job, and believe it or not, that job only exists to fill a check mark by the company. A lot of companies would put in an application internally so that they could get someone to apply for that position. But because of laws and regulations, they also have to put that job application on the market and get people to apply. Now, people like you who are either jobless or you're already at a job, you're doing that same thing where you're going to keep, shotgunning resumes, spraying and praying, and hoping you get that job. Well, unfortunately, it's pretty difficult to do so because, well, as stated before, that job doesn't exist. In fact, besides those fake jobs, businesses would just throw in a job application because, truth be told, they want to get information from the marketplace, right? So they want to see, hey, you know what? I put this job here. How many people would realistically ask for this job if I put it up, even if they're not looking for that position? And if they have employees, they could use that information against said employees so that they could have an upper leverage in negotiations, etc. Okay? That's, once again, a reason why fake jobs exist. In addition, and I should state this as well, when you have a fake job, they could do so if employees are complaining that there aren't enough staff. If you ever had a job in fast food or retail, you may be having a lot of stress put on you by having more and more responsibilities. So let's say you start out with 10 employees. There's a downturn that happens, and now it's 5 employees, and the company is trudging along, etc. That company is no longer going to ask for 5 more employees. Why? Because they saw that they could work with 5 employees or on a skeleton crew and still continue moving on. And once that has happened, you will begin to realize that, oh, my labor doesn't matter. Okay. Now, to the fourth reason on why it's so hard to get a job is because, well, the competition for the type of job you're looking for. Most people are not trying to get into retail. Most people are not trying to get into fast food. Most people are not trying to get into sales or healthcare. Okay. Most people want to have a good old administrative job, a white collar job, and just sit down and chillax. Well, because that is the case, the job market is fierce in particular industries. Number one is the tech industry, particularly software. If you look into the marketing, you don't just have computer scientists competing for those jobs. You have people who are going to boot camps are competing for those jobs. IT competing for those jobs, mathematicians competing for those jobs, physicists competing for those jobs, engineers competing for those jobs, and any other profession, vocation, or lack thereof competing for tech software jobs. Now, let me ask you this. You're a business owner, and you have all these people competing for that type of job. You think you're just going to, have this easy, sweet time thinking that it's going to be okay to, just get one employee talk crazy to you? No. You have hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, applying for that position to get that job. Right? Now, you the employee. You think you're the only one looking for that tech job? You're not. Many other people are as well. Okay? So if you're, looking for a job in tech, which many people are, is not going to be easy. And quite frankly, unless you have a computer science degree, you're going to have a really, really hard time. Now, I believe this is the fifth reason. And it's pretty obvious, but a lot of people don't get it. But location, okay? Compared to, let's say, an urbanized environment, if you live in a more rural environment, let's say 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, and yes, I'm counting that as rural, you may not have as many opportunities as a person who lives in a more urbanized environment, let's say a Chicago, a New York City, a Los Angeles, etc. Those jobs will be pretty hard to acquire, and they will be pretty hard and difficult for you to make money from. So that is all. Those are all the reasons on why it's hard to get a job. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you have opinions, comments, or dislikes, leave them down below, and I hope you enjoyed.